Anthony Davis is extension eligible.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis has 1 year left on his contract. I feel like that is the thing that has gone the most under the radar in the NBA right now. Like, it's not like Anthony Davis is on an expiring contract right now. And a big piece of that is obviously the Lakers are in this situation with LeBron James where will he be there next year? Will he not be there next year? Not in 2023-24, but rather 2024-25. Will LeBron James be there?
Right.
Made the quick little comments about retiring, everything like that. Well, Anthony Davis's early termination option in the summer of 2024, his option year there in 2024-25 is for $43 million. He will get more than that.
I was going to say
on the market.
Go ahead and book that he's opting out of that.
I think that's right. I think he will exercise the early termination option.
Yeah.
But if you're the Lakers, I think you probably want him to sign an extension. I know that there are inherent flaws in potentially like if LeBron retires and then you have this big Anthony Davis deal on your books. Anthony Davis is still great. And I think you just kind of have to roll with that, right?
It's a tough spot for the Lakers, I think.
It is.
Because he's going to be 30. He hasn't played. I mean, he played 56 games last year, 40 games the year prior, 36, but that was in the weird bubble year. But he just hadn't played a lot of games.
Yeah.
And so locking him into, I mean, you're locking your team up if you do this. I don't envy their position because I do think that you can't replace Anthony Davis. But also, if you're only getting Anthony Davis for half the season and you don't know which half that's going to be, that makes it really tough. Now, if you can get
that goes the other way if you're a team acquiring Anthony Davis in free agency next year as well.
No question. I mean, honestly, Anthony Davis, locking him up through age 33, that kind of scares me a little bit, to be honest, because he's gonna demand a lot of money. He's still a great player, but it just comes down to when healthy. And it's just a tough bet to make. Now, if you've got LeBron and you have him on board, like, you just have to do whatever you can to continue to push for a title. You've won one with that duo, and you want to push to do it again. If you're the Lakers without LeBron, do you really want to have Anthony Davis on that contract? I don't know. Because if I'm the Lakers, I would rather have cap flexibility.
Do you think Anthony Davis is an asset after this season if he is signed to a 4-year, $200 million contract?
Oh man, I think he could if he plays 60 games plus. Yes, if he doesn't, then maybe not. I think at this point, teams would take a bite at just trying to get him on their team. Like Chicago, I think would love to have him on their team, and you could get some real stuff.
All of Chicago's maneuvering over the last couple of months here, like basically since the deadline, I feel like it all makes a lot more sense if you look at it through the prism of them trying to lure Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
because Nikola Vucevic at 33 on like a $20 million a year deal for 3 years doesn't make a lot of sense on its face when you're basically running back like a 38-win team, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense if your goal is like, hey, we're going to build a core of Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White, Alex Caruso, Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, Anthony Davis.
Oh,
right?
I mean, kind of. That just makes me feel a little sad for Chicago fans. Just because I don't know. I would. That's not what I'd want to chase if I was a Chicago.
I agree, because you're setting yourself up for potential disaster if LeBron decides to stay in LA for another year, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Well,
I feel like
if you're the Lakers,
if you
extension?
look at it through that prism
Yeah.
of trying to lure Anthony Davis, Chicago's moves, which have been dumbfounding to me across the board in a number
Mhm.
of ways, I think they make a lot more sense in theory.
Yeah. I just think Chicago's kind of a mess. And I just don't know that adding a 30-plus-year-old Anthony Davis is the real answer to your problems.
Yeah.
Um,
So you think no on an extension for Anthony Davis right now?
I would wait. I would wait. I would not do it right now. I would understand the apprehension that Lakers front office members are feeling about it, just because there's a lot of uncertainty that will get more clear, in the next like 8 months or so. I think things will look more clear than they do today.
Yeah. If I was the Lakers, I would sign him to an extension for what it's worth.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, like Dave McMenamin, kind of seemed to think that this is going to happen.
Okay.
With AD, that he will sign an extension with the Lakers. I do think if you could tell me it was only you're adding 3 years to an AD deal, I think that's definitely an asset.
Yes.
But if I'm Rich Paul, there's no way I'm doing anything less than the full boat.
Oh yeah.
So I think if you're the Lakers, you kind of just got to bite the bullet and do it, because your worst case scenario is that you have Anthony Davis. Your best case scenario is that you can, if LeBron leaves, your best case scenario is that you can move him for assets as you rebuild, and he's an asset.
True.
Right.
True.
So I think that you just do this at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And get it done.
I could see that. I also like having flexibility just because you are the Lakers and you can make things happen when you're flexible. But if he's an asset, yes. If he's not an asset, you're still the Lakers and you can still figure something out.